Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 8.
Hey, good morning, Oklahoma. Appreciate you being here with us on KOCO 5 News on your Sunday. I'm Zach Rael. We're here with meteorologist Eric Garlick this morning. Eric, clear skies outside, a whole lot different from what we saw last Sunday. What can we expect for the rest of this week heading into Christmas?
Yeah, hard to believe that was just a week ago.
Seriously.
It feels like it was a long time ago, and no remnants of that snow here in Oklahoma City now. Temperature's going to continue to warm up over the next couple of days. If there is any snow out there, it's going to be gone here pretty soon. 34 degrees here in Oklahoma City with a wind chill of 27. There's downtown Oklahoma City, and look at that, nothing but blue skies this morning. We're going to see a lot of sunshine today. 30 degrees in El Reno, 39 in Edmond, as well as Midwest City, 27 in Chandler. Winds not too bad, 5 to 15 miles per hour, making those wind chills just a bit cooler. 19 in Chandler, 22 in El Reno, 25 in Hinton. It's a little on the chilly side. When you head out the door this morning, you might have to scrape a little bit of frost if your car is not facing that sunshine, but that sunshine going to help warm things up pretty quickly, especially on those cars. 55 degrees this afternoon. This evening, 44 degrees. Going to be pretty nice this evening. We'll continue to warm up over the next couple of days. We'll let you know just how warm we get and how long it lasts.
Eric, sounds good. We are following some breaking news right now. Enid police searching for this 14-year-old boy. Take a look at your screen here. So this after a non-injury car crash late last night on Grand and East Main in Enid. Logan Klein was last seen wearing a black Nike shirt, blue sweatpants, and green and purple camouflage shoes. He's 5'6" and weighs about 130 pounds. Logan is high-functioning autistic and has been known to hide before. If anyone sees him, you are asked to call 911 immediately. Also following this story developing overnight, one person is dead and one is in custody after a shooting in Yukon. So we brought this to as breaking news last night during our newscast. So this happened Saturday at a home near Northwest 98th and Mustang. Oklahoma City police tell us someone from inside the home called 911 to report this shooting. When officers arrived on scene, they discovered that multiple people had been shot.
At this time, what we do know is the suspect has been injured. He is in custody at this time, and he is at the hospital receiving treatment for his injuries.
Well, police tell us that 3 people total were injured, 1 in critical, and 1 person has died. Initially, police told us that the suspect had self-inflicted gunshot wounds, but now they're saying the suspect may have been shot by someone else inside of that home. Turning down to the latest on the coronavirus this morning, and now more than 4,108 new cases reported on Saturday alone. The state now confirming 28 more virus-related deaths. As of Friday night, more than 1,700 Oklahomans in the hospital fighting COVID-19, 455 of those in the ICU. Congressional leaders say another round of COVID-19 relief is within reach, and now it's just a matter of seeing it through the finish line. KOCO's Matt Pritchard is in Washington this morning. And Matt, how did all of this come together?
Zach, Democrats and Republicans spent hours negotiating and cleared one final hurdle late Saturday. The nearly $1 trillion package includes boosted unemployment benefits, funding for schools, renters, vaccine distribution, and a revitalized paycheck protection program. Individual Americans would also see $600 direct payments. And much of the remaining disagreement centered on emergency powers of the Federal Reserve. Some in Congress were pushing to scale back the Fed's ability to provide loans to small businesses and buy bonds from state and local governments. After clearing that hurdle, though, the two sides shifted to the next difficult step, drafting the mammoth piece of legislation.
Crafting a $1 trillion relief package over the matter of a few days was always going to have its difficulties, but we are running out of time.
We need to pass these measures with a big bipartisan vote and get them signed into law without further delay.
The relief bill will be tied to a $1.4 trillion spending package. Congress has already bumped back their government funding deadline twice and may have to do so again to allow for bills to be written and votes to be taken. In Washington, Matt Pritchard, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, Matt, all eyes on Washington. And back here in Oklahoma, help is coming soon for those in Stillwater struggling to pay the bills right now. The city has about $150,000 left in CARES Act money, and applications to get that money open up tomorrow. So this is for people who are having a hard time making ends meet as a direct result of the pandemic. People can apply to get up to $1,500 for help with utilities, rent, and mortgage payments. So we put a link to the application and more information on the KOCO 5 mobile news app. All you have to do is go to the As Seen On section. A judge siding with Oklahoma bar owners on Friday, halting Governor Kevin Stitt's executive order requiring them to stop serving food and drinks at 11 p.m. The Redneck Yacht Club telling us this morning they're relieved by the decision.
This is a major win for my employees and myself, and also the bar industry in its entirety, but it's far from over.
When the 12 days are up, there will be another hearing set for December 30th. Governor Kevin Stitt saying on Friday, quote, "I am disappointed in today's ruling because my first priority as governor is to protect the health and lives of all Oklahomans. We look forward to making our case at that hearing on December 30th. Well, last week, the first doses of the coronavirus vaccine were administered to frontline healthcare workers here in Oklahoma City. We spoke with the ER nurse who was the first in Oklahoma to receive that vaccine to see how she's feeling now. KOCO's Shelby Cashman reports.
We've been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
This moment, Hannah White, an ER nurse at Integris Hospital, becomes the first Oklahoman to receive a COVID-19 vaccine.
I mean, waking up this morning, just describe to me how you're feeling.
It's excitement, it's joy, it's everything good you could describe to have right now.
But she wants us all to remember that it is just that, a start. It's going to be months before all Oklahomans can be vaccinated, and our frontline workers are exhausted. We cannot give up.
Kind of paint a picture to me about what you've been seeing.
It's busy, rooms are full, patients are alone, we're tired.
Continuing to make sacrifices to protect us all. And White says it's a sacrifice worth making, especially when she says the vaccine is just like getting a flu shot.
I am happy to be an example and show you that it's okay. I have no symptoms today. I had no fever. I slept just fine last night. I'm excited and I am very honored to be the first person. It's exciting.
Shelby Cashman, KOCO 5 News.
A lot of excitement and hope behind those vaccines. So White says she received a card after she received her first dose telling her to come back and get her second dose in 3 weeks. And you can catch important interviews like that one right there every morning during our 9 a.m. newscast. You can also join Shelby, Jason, Alejandra, and Jonathan every weekday morning starting early at 4:30. All right, everybody, it's now 8:05. Let's send things over to meteorologist Eric Garlick. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, dealing with some pretty nice conditions across most of the U.S. with the exception of the East Coast and the Pacific Northwest, but dry across the heart of the nation, that's for sure. McLeod looking into Shawnee, you can see some frost on the ground. It is going to be a frosty morning. It is a little bit on the chilly side, 33 in Seminole, 34 OKC. How about a 29 in Hobart and 27 in Lawton? So there are some cool pockets across the state, and you're going to probably have to wear that winter attire regardless of where you are. Winds 5 to 15 miles an hour generally throughout the day today. As far as temperatures go, 45 degrees by 10 o'clock. We're going to warm up pretty quickly. By noon, we are where we should be for highs. Average high 49 degrees. We'll be up near 50 by noon. 55 this afternoon. That'll be high temperatures. And then this evening, temperatures cooling down into the low 40s. 43 degrees at 10 o'clock with clear skies tonight. Temperatures tonight only going to fall down to about 35 degrees. We'll start the day off a little bit warmer tomorrow. We'll make it up to 60 degrees in the afternoon. 65 for Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a cold front coming through, and the exact timing on that, well, we're narrowing it down. Right now, it's looking like it's going to come in late morning, early afternoon, and then temperature's going to drop quite a bit down into the 20s for Thursday morning, and Thursday afternoon, only making it up to about 40 degrees. So some cold weather ahead after a few warm days. We'll talk about any precip chances that come with that coming up in a bit.
Okay, Eric, sounds good. Well, this morning, distribution of Moderna's vaccine, the second one to be granted emergency approval by the FDA, is getting underway, and it comes not a moment too soon. Confirmed cases in the U.S. now topping 17 million and claiming the lives of more than 316,000. ABC's Karina Mitchell has the details.
Another arsenal in the fight against the coronavirus. Moderna's vaccine ready to be shipped across the country. The FDA authorizing emergency use of the drug Friday, just 1 week after it gave Pfizer's the go-ahead.
We've run such a good marathon so far. Let's finish it off strong.
The two vaccines are similar. Both use messenger RNA technology that teaches cells how to protect the body against COVID-19. And both are more than 94% effective at preventing the virus. But there are differences. Pfizer's requires ultra-cold refrigeration at negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Moderna's can be kept in a regular freezer. This will make it easier for Moderna to distribute to rural communities. Healthcare workers and those in long-term care facilities are among the first to get the vaccines.
I've seen some of my colleagues in social media, around the country showing themselves getting the vaccines, and I'm surprised by how emotional it makes me because I know they're protected.
A third vaccine from Johnson & Johnson is also on the horizon. The drug maker is expected to know by early January whether its version is effective. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Well, President Donald Trump is making plans to hit the campaign trail once again. The president tweeted late Saturday night saying he plans to hold a rally in Georgia in support of both Republican senators running for re-election there. The rally will be held on January 4th, the night before the runoff elections are to be held in that state. And tomorrow, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is scheduled to campaign for both of the Democratic candidates. With a so-called Bethlehem star expected to show up in the sky just in time for the Christmas season, when you'll be able to see it best. That coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's go and take a live look outside this morning. It is 8:09 on your Sunday morning here. Here's what it looks like from our Family Leisure Tower camera. And appreciate you waking up and starting your Sunday with us here on KOCO 5 News. Plenty of other top headlines to get to, plus another look at your forecast, all coming up in the next hour of news.
This is a KOCO 5 editorial with Brent Hensley.
History unfolded before our eyes this week. The first coronavirus vaccines rolled into town. We watched live as the first nurse was given a shot in the arm. As Mayor Holt said, it gave a lot of us a boost of hope. That shot in the arm, if you will, to help us finish this race. For a lot of us, until this week, we haven't seen that light at the end of the tunnel. But now there's hope that the end is in sight. I don't know how much our world will ever really get back to the way things were. Lives have been lost. Businesses have closed. Families have suffered financial setbacks that will take years to recover from. But at least there's hope. And that hope feels like an early Christmas gift. But this fight isn't over. It's not time to get complacent. We have to finish the race with a renewed commitment. Please wear your mask, wash your hands. Don't go to large holiday gatherings this year. Just don't. Hospitals and healthcare workers are at their breaking point. But today, there's hope and a brighter future. I'd like to hear from you. Email me at editorials@koco.com.
This has been a KOCO 5 editorial. And Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane. They're watching out for you every morning, every night, any screen, anytime. They're with you from the first alert until the storms end. Only on KOCO 5.
Hey everybody, let's take a live look outside at 8:13 on our Sunday morning. This from our Grand Casino camera. You can see the Broadway extension and a good shot of downtown Oklahoma City. Blue skies this morning. Looks absolutely gorgeous out there. We'll check in with Eric. He'll let us know exactly what we can expect as you wake up this morning and for the rest of our Sunday. But first, let's go ahead and check in with Soledad O'Brien with a look at what's coming up this week on Matter of Fact.
I'm Soledad O'Brien. This week on Matter of Fact, jobless in a pandemic with nothing to eat. Latino households are twice as likely as white households to report food insecurity. We go to Chicago, where Latino communities are leaning on each other to get by.
It really breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because we would like to do more.
Also, will the pandemic slow down a college dedicated to helping students move up and move out of poverty? We have an update on one of the students there. Plus, inside the front lines, an ER doctor shows us what's it like for millions of healthcare workers who are trying to save lives while keeping their own families safe. Those stories and much more this week on Matter of Fact.
And of course, you can catch Matter of Fact today and every Sunday morning at 10 right here on KOCO 5 News. Well, looking ahead, this story pretty cool. The Great Conjunction, what some call the Bethlehem Star, will be making an appearance in the sky tomorrow. So if you look closely, you can see Saturn and Jupiter lining up. And once they line up, it will be the first time that this has actually happened in centuries. Eric, pretty historic here, and watching it happen and those two planets coming closer over the past couple of days. Even last night you could see it, but tomorrow night's going to be the time to really view this thing.
Yeah, tomorrow night is when they're going to be the closest together, like within 0.1 degree of each other.
How cool.
And it's been a long time since that has happened, hundreds of years. This is kind of the setup right now. So this would be looking west. As that sun sets, we're going to see Saturn and Jupiter lining up together, going to be pretty much in a straight line with Earth. So as this sun sets, we'll be able to see these two planets, but they're still a long way away from each other as they orbit around that sun. And this is just kind of the way things go, and it shapes up every couple of hundred years. Looking to the southwest after sunset, best time to see it about 45 minutes to an hour after sunset. Again, looking off to the south and west, that sun will start to set and you can see Jupiter and Saturn. This is going to be tomorrow, the 21st, after that sun goes down at 5:21. Nobody really knows exactly what it's going to look like because it hasn't happened for hundreds of years, but you should be able to still see two distinct planets, even though they're going to be really close to each other and probably not going to appear any brighter than they are right now. Here's what's going on across Oklahoma. Things quiet. Blue skies, downtown Oklahoma City looking great, 34 degrees, wind chill of 27 with those northwest winds around 10 miles per hour. 29 in Hobart, 34 in Enid, 32 in Stillwater. Wind chills still down into the 20s. It's chilly, got some frost on your windows. Bundle up this morning when you scrape that frost off. It's a pretty thick frost, 36 degrees, 55 this afternoon and this evening, 44 degrees. Tonight falling down to 35. Above average, our average 30 degrees. Tomorrow we'll see those temperatures up near 60 degrees. Going to be dealing with some pretty nice conditions. Once again, well above average. 65 for Tuesday. Tuesday, the winds start to move in here, especially later in the day into the evening. And then on Wednesday, we see our temperatures start to fall late morning, early afternoon timing on that cold front, and that's really going to knock our temperatures down. Look at those feel like temperatures on Tuesday up into the 60s. Wednesday morning, that front coming through. 32 for a feel like temp by noon, and then we'll see those temperatures down into the teens for feel like temperatures as we head into Thursday. So big changes ahead after a couple nice days with above average temperatures. Christmas, 53 degrees. We'll talk about a predictor in those precip chances for Wednesday coming up in less than 10.
Now, KOCO 5 Sports.
I mean, it's been a wild year for college football, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. We didn't even know if we were going to have a season because of COVID-19. And then we did have a season. And then OU played in the Big 12 and lost their first two games in the Big 12. And so at that point, hey, they're out of the Big 12 championship, right? Can't come back and do that, except no, they weren't, because played the rest of the games and won the rest of their games. So here they were. Now they're the favorite to win their 6th straight Big 12 championship against Iowa State. Started with the bang, I'm mean. Spencer Rattler deep to Marvin Mims. Perfect start for OU. They had a 17-0 lead. They are rolling, cruising. You're thinking blowout city. And then here comes Iowa State. They made a few plays. The kid from Norman North, Charlie Kohler. Touchdown Cyclones. But then right before the half, Sooners drive it in a hurry. And Spencer Rattler just says, I'll do it myself. Sooners lead at 24-7 at halftime. Cyclones, though, they would rally. Here they come. This would make it 24-21. Breece Hall touchdown. And then the Sooners have to punt, and Iowa State gets it back, and they're driving. Get to third down. About a minute to go, and see, here's what you just can't do. Brock Purdy, awful decision, and right there, it's Trey Brown. That guy's had a career at AT&T Stadium. Now you need all but two hands to count all the rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. OU wins it. 27-21. They are Big 12 champs. Take you way back. In the words of the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Yeah, it's a little surreal. Again, just all of these are. I mean, just sit back and think 6 in a row, and that just doesn't get done in college football very often. It's so hard, and you know, we as coaches that have been here through it, all of our players, our staff, our fans. I mean, everybody that is a part of this football program, that cares about this football program, that roots for this football program, and better appreciate what this is. I mean, this is awesome stuff by this team individually and our teams over the last several years. And you know, that's just a great feeling right now. It's you know, feels good to be the champ.
No, it feels amazing. You know, words can't really describe it right now. I mean, just where we started and where we're at now is just night and day. And like, who would have known we'd be here, you know, winning this for 6 times in a row. You know, it's an amazing feeling. We're blessed and we're happy to be here.
You know, in that locker room in Ames, Iowa, when you were 0-2 in the conference, and I told them, you know, a place like OU, man, there's nowhere to hide. You know, it's not like, well, if we just go off and don't, you know, and have a bad season that people aren't going to pay attention. They always pay attention to OU. I mean, this is such a national powerhouse, and there's never anywhere to hide in this program. So you got really one choice, and you got to step up. And I think everybody in our locker room believed that this was possible, and at that point, and what a tremendous run it's been.
Find out about a bowl game on Sunday for Oklahoma. Let's go to high school football on Saturday. State championship games, Class 2A. You had Washington and Metro Christian. It was a good game. Washington hanging in their touchdown. Here's the deal. They made a bunch of mistakes, way too many of them, and you can't do that and win the state championship. Metro Christian deep into the playbook. Trick play for the score. Metro Christian wins it 48-37. It's a bunch of points. Gold football handed out, but a heck of a season for the Washington Warriors. Let's drop down to Class A. Also at UCO, Wantland Stadium. Hey, festive on Saturday night. Cashin and Thomas. Cashin Wildcats put on a show. You know, they've been the best team in the state all year, and they were the best team in the state on Saturday night. That's a touchdown, and then they poured it on. Watch the throw and catch. It's pretty good. Cashin wins it 34-7. Their first 11-man state championship in school history. Big congratulations on a great season and a state championship. And in Class B, the Dewar Dragons are state champions for the first time in program history. They beat Laverne 38-20. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Fit with us here in the morning. She's covered Oklahoma, and she understands the news you need first thing.
This is a live look from Sky 5 over that scene.
The only helicopter flying every weekday morning, covering developing stories, live from the scene.
We're all about delivering breaking news for you
and preparing you for your day and the weather.
I am so excited to start the day with this team and you.
Shelby Cashman with Jason, Alejandra, and Jonathan. Weekday mornings on KOCO 5 News. KOCO 5 News, sponsored by Grand Casino.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. 8:24 right now. Another live look outside this morning from the Grand Casino camera out looking towards downtown Oklahoma City. Eric, taking a look at this, looks absolutely great outside right now. Probably a little cold, of course, but clear skies at least.
Yeah, get out inside and enjoy it this afternoon. It's going to be pretty nice. Here's what it looks like across our network of tower cams, and you can see not much in the way of cloud cover, maybe a few up near Stillwater, but otherwise things looking pretty good. We're going to see temperatures warming up the next several days, about 5 degrees each day, starting with today up to about 55, 60, and then 65. Next front comes through on Wednesday. That'll be late Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, and it's going to bring some really strong winds with it. We're talking 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts, so very strong winds. At 9 o'clock, we'll see those temperatures up to about 38 degrees. Still frosty, especially if you're parked outside in the shade. You're going to have to scrape some of that frost off. Sunny, above average, and breezy for 3 o'clock, 55 degrees. That'll be our high temperature for today as well. 7 o'clock this evening, 44 degrees. Clear skies, going to be chilly, but for December, it's going to be a pretty nice evening. Maybe go for a stroll and see some Christmas lights. Bundle up, of course, with those temperatures in the mid-40s, but pretty pleasant for late December. Wednesday, we'll fast forward to Wednesday afternoon. There's a chance at those spotty showers and maybe a little bit of light snow, some flurries mixing in on the backside of this late Wednesday night into Thursday. Not expecting much in terms of accumulation at this point, but we're still a couple days away. Make sure you're checking back for updates on the forecast. We'll tell you just how cold it gets for Thursday and Christmas Day coming up here in just a little bit.
Okay, Eric, appreciate it as always. Moderna's coronavirus vaccine rolls out. Coming up, KOCO's Matt Pritchard is in Washington with what this shot means in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. But first, let's take a live look outside. Again, 8:26 right now on your Sunday. This from our Grand Casino camera. This one out by Shawnee in the McLeod area. Again, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you starting off your Sunday with us here on KOCO 5 News. We'll be right back with that 8:30 half hour of news in just a bit.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 8.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you staying with us. So if you're just now joining us, thanks for being here. I'm Zach Rael. We're here with meteorologist Eric Garlick this morning. Eric, taking a look at that map behind you, looks pretty clear outside. What can people expect as they begin their Sundays?
Well, we're going to see a lot of sunshine as you head out the door. A little bit of frost on the vehicles if you park outside, and the sun hasn't got to it yet, but that sunshine going to really warm things up on those vehicles and melt that frost pretty quick. 32 in Stillwater, 27 in Lawton, 35 in Clinton. Those wind chills down into the 20s for most of us. Some of us a little bit warmer in the low 30s. It's going to be a pretty nice day. 51 degrees by noon. That's above our average high for this time of year. We'll see those temperatures up to about 55 for highs today here at Oklahoma City. A lot of sunshine. Rain chances not with us today. However, we do have some slim precip chances as we head toward Wednesday. Big time cold front coming our way. That's going to knock our temperatures down into the 40s for highs and overnight lows down into the 20s. So pretty strong front coming our way. We'll talk about the precip chances that come with it and the big time winds that come with it. That all coming up here in just a little bit.
Okay, Eric, we'll check back in with you. Appreciate it. Getting to the latest on the coronavirus and new numbers this morning. More than 4,100 new cases reported on Saturday alone. The state confirming 28 more virus-related deaths as well. As of Friday night, more than 1,700 Oklahomans in the hospital right now fighting COVID-19. 455 of those are in the ICU. A massive distribution effort is unfolding across the country right now as Moderna's coronavirus vaccine becomes the latest tool in the fight against the deadly virus. Matt Pritchard is in Washington this morning. And Matt, how is this all playing out right now?
Zach, Moderna's shot was approved just days ago, but already shipments are spreading across the country. Government officials said Saturday they're hopeful the shot can start being administered as soon as possible and expect their distribution efforts to only build in the coming weeks. And when it comes to Pfizer's vaccine, there was some confusion over how many doses would be available in the next round of shipments. States say original projections from the government were incorrect and there'll be less vaccine than originally expected, something officials apologized for on Saturday.
There is no problem with the process. There is no problem with the Pfizer vaccine. There is no problem with the Moderna vaccine, right? It was a planning error, and I am responsible.
Now, by year's end, 20 million doses of Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines are expected to be distributed across the country. In Washington, Matt Pritchard, KOCO 5 News.
Well, so far, 2.9 million doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine have been delivered to states across the country, thousands of those arriving in Oklahoma last Monday. I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, download the KOCO 5 mobile news app. We have even more coronavirus coverage right there. You can find the color-coded COVID-19 map to break down the specific risk in your area. We'll also send you a push alert when the state releases those brand new infection numbers every single day at about 11 a.m. Getting to some other news this morning, newly filed court documents reveal that Tommy Ward, also known as the Innocent Man, is set to be released from prison. Now, right now, he is one of two men serving a life sentence for the murder of Denise Haraway and Ada back in 1984. On Friday, a judge vacated Ward's convictions and sentences, dismissed the charges, and discharged him from custody. Both Ward and the other man convicted in her killing, Carl Fonteno, they have both maintained their innocence. We have an update to a story that we've been following since last week. A Canton girl who developed a flesh-eating bacteria after an injury is back at the Children's Hospital this morning. So we talked with Bailey Hooten from her hospital bed right before she was released. Bailey fell during a basketball game and sustained bruising to her hand. Well, doctors say the injury developed into a flesh-eating bacteria that grew from her wrist to her armpits.
The doctor said had I waited 12 to 24 more hours, she would have lost her digits. She could have lost her arm. She would have lost her life.
Well, there is a benefit dinner in Canton to help with medical expenses. It's at the high school cafeteria at 11 a.m. today, followed by a dessert auction. There's also a GoFundMe account set up, which you can find in our KOCO 5 mobile news app. Well, this morning, OKCPS releasing some new details about their spring semester. Superintendent Dr. Sean McDaniel saying they plan to begin the second semester on January 4th with all students in a remote setting for about 2 weeks. He says they then plan to gradually return students to classrooms in an A-B setting starting on January 19th, when the district's youngest learners and high need groups set as their priority. And just about 8:35, let's send things over to meteorologist Eric Garlick for a look at weather on the 5s.
Things pretty quiet across most of the nation. Big storm moving along the east coast right now, but nation's midsection just fine up into the Pacific Northwest. This is going to be our next weather maker, and it's going to bring some strong winds to us here in Oklahoma. 34 degrees in OKC, blue skies. Wind chills at 27 degrees. Downtown Oklahoma City looking just gorgeous this morning. 32 in Woodward as well as Stillwater. 34 in Seminole. Most of us in the upper 20s and low 30s. Wind chills a little bit colder than that. Feeling like 26 degrees in Clinton as well as Enid. 30 in Seminole. 26 in Ada. Did have some teens on the board this morning and dealing with some pretty winter-like conditions when we get wind chills in the teens, that's for sure. By noon, we're up to 50 degrees, 49 our average high, mid-50s along the Red River. Up near 60 for the Red River today. We'll top out around 55 here in Oklahoma City. By 9 o'clock, temperatures back down into the upper 30s across northern Oklahoma, low to mid-40s down across southern and central Oklahoma. We're going to be dealing with a warming trend the next several days. We'll see some 60s on the board. Some of us pushing 70 degrees as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to be dealing with some very mild air for the end of December. However, cold front comes through. That'll spoil the party and bring us some winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. We'll talk about when those winds are the strongest and rain chances that come with that cold front. That'll coming up here in just a little bit.
Okay, Eric, sounds good. Well, staying safe as you travel for the holidays. Coming up, KOCO Sally Kidd is in Washington with the latest precautions that experts say you should be taking. Also, KOCO and Quail Creek Bank want to help Oklahoma teachers. So many deserving teachers out there. You can go to KOCO.com to nominate a teacher today, and each month we will choose one teacher to receive $1,000 for their project on DonorsChoose.org. 8:36, another live look outside this morning as we see from our Family Leisure Tower camera. This outlooking the Oklahoma City metro area. A gorgeous Sunday morning here in Oklahoma. Those blue skies, can't ask for much better than that in December. We'll check in with Eric again, let you know more about your forecast. Plus, we have other top headlines to get to in this next half hour of news. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back, everybody. 8:39 and a live look outside this morning. You can see the Broadway extension here in Oklahoma City. A couple of people getting a start to their Sunday morning and downtown Oklahoma City there in the background. These shots, man, they just make me want to get outside today. I know it's probably a little cold right now, but Eric said it'll be warming up a little bit, so maybe go ahead and do some outdoor activities today. Enjoy this weather while we can, right? Okay, well, can you believe it? We're only 5 days away from Christmas. I know, hard to believe, and many Americans might be preparing to celebrate Christmas. There are concerns, though, about a possible post-holiday surge of COVID-19 cases. This really needs to be top of mind right now. New infections continue to climb across the country, along with the death toll, and health officials are now worried that holiday gatherings will only further the spread of the virus. Sally Kidd is in Washington this morning with the latest guidance on staying safe this holiday season.
The CDC is recommending just staying home for the holidays and finding alternative ways to celebrate. Holiday travel, not the best idea this year.
I would advise against if possible.
What about that traditional feast with family and friends?
Gathering is risky.
Or sitting on Santa's lap.
At the end of the day, it's just not safe.
Not without social distancing and other precautions, experts say. The holidays are looking different this year as COVID-19 cases surge across the country.
Every community is at risk. The number of sort of red high infection rate states is the most that's ever been. So to keep everyone safe, we need to modify our behaviors and our practices.
The CDC recommends celebrating only with those in your immediate household, or hold your gathering outside. Keep it brief. Better yet, they say, make it a virtual event.
We just need to hang on a bit longer, a few more months really, where we're really in need of the social distancing and the masking with this level of intensity.
By now, you know the drill.
We need to continue to follow the 3 W's: wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance.
And if you do decide to travel, the CDC is recommending getting tested up to 3 days before you depart, and then again 3 to 5 days after you return. Reporting from Washington, I'm Sally Kidd.
Okay, everybody, we need to update you on some breaking news that we told you about at the beginning of this newscast. That 14-year-old boy who went missing last night after a non-injury car crash has been found safe. This just in, Logan Klein has been found safe and unharmed in Enid. Some good news there to report this morning. Okay, well, still to come, 2 vaccines being shipped across the country, but are they safe? Our Chief National Consumer Correspondent Jeff Ross is speaking with health experts to get you those answers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. It's 8:45 on the dot right now as we take a live look outside from the Grand Casino camera just outside of Shawnee in the McLeod area. You can see I-40 there, and those blue skies. The sun is up and shining, Eric. Of course, we're in December. You can expect it to be a little bit cold, but what can we expect for the rest of our Sunday?
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice day. Temperature's going to warm up quite a bit. Here's the system that moved through Oklahoma not too long ago, dealing with some rain up through Atlanta into Raleigh and up into the Northeast. Things quiet across the midsection, up into the Pacific Northwest. This is going to be our next weather maker, and that's going to bring a cold front through our area. Broadway extension looking good this morning. Downtown Oklahoma City, blue skies, and we'll see some pretty nice conditions all day long. 34 degrees this morning, a little bit chilly. Do have some frost, wind chills at 27 degrees. So if you're out there scraping off that frost, it is going to be a little bit chilly. Probably want the gloves. And if you park in the sun, you're probably good to go. Nice and warm. 32 degrees in Stillwater, 35 in Clinton, 28 in Ardmore, 27 in Lawton. Winds not too bad, 5 to 15 miles an hour if you're going to try to get around to golfing today. Going to be pretty nice. Maybe a 1-club wind at times, but otherwise things looking pretty light in terms of wind compared to what we're going to see later. Just a little bit of wind though, dealing with wind chills down into the 20s. For most of us here. Bundle up this morning, 55 this afternoon, a bit breezy, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Sunny skies, keep the sunglasses handy. And this evening, 43 degrees, dealing with clear skies. Going to be a bit chilly, but for December 20th, we will take it. 55 this afternoon, our average 49, 61 in Lawton, as well as Ardmore, 63 in Durant. Overnight, we'll see temps down to about 35 degrees, low 30s. Down along the Red River as well. So it's going to be a little chilly tonight, a little bit above average though, and tomorrow we'll continue our warming trend. 60 degrees here in Oklahoma City, upper 60s, even close to 70 down in Durant tomorrow. North winds around 10 miles an hour. On Wednesday, we have a front coming through. This is going to bring us some big time wind. It's also going to give us the chance for a little bit of precip out across eastern Oklahoma. A few light showers possible up into the Panhandle, southwest Kansas, maybe some accumulating snow. But as this moves into northwestern Oklahoma, going to just kind of fizzle out. Not much moisture for that system to work with. So maybe a few flurries at most Wednesday night into Thursday morning. As of now, we're watching this closely. Make sure you're checking back for updates on the forecast. The wind's going to be a big topic Tuesday and Wednesday. Going to be a big talker as well as we head into Wednesday. 58 degrees. That'll be during the morning. Cold front comes through during the afternoon, and that really adjusts our temperatures. Let's talk about those wind chills. Feel like temperatures in the 60s on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, that front starts to work through 20s for wind chills, and then eventually down into the teens as we head into Thursday morning. So it's going to be cold, but we'll warm up pretty quickly on Christmas, back up to 53 degrees above average, and temperatures continuing to warm up. 55 on Saturday and up near 60 as we head into Sunday. So other than a little bit of a cold front coming through on Wednesday, bringing some winds and some low precip chances, pretty quiet week.
Yeah, not bad, Eric. Appreciate your forecast as always, my friend. Turning now to this, and a new Rawson reports as the vaccine is sent out around the country, now comes another challenge how to convince everyone that it is safe to take. Well, our chief national consumer correspondent, Jeff Rawson, has some new reporting on this. Jeff.
Hey, yeah, it's been amazing to watch, right? Those frontline workers getting the vaccine finally. But I know many of you out there are still not convinced the vaccine is safe. You're worried about political pressures, and also getting anything new shot into your arm can worry you. Let's get some answers here from a man who would know. This guy would know. Dr. Paul Offit, the director of the Vaccine Education Center at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Dr. Offit is also a member of the FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee. And Dr. Offit, you have looked at the data, the trials. In your role on the FDA Advisory Committee, you voted yes to approving the Pfizer vaccine. You've always been a straight shooter with us. We talked a lot over the months. So is it safe? What's the bottom line?
Well, what you know is you know that these vaccines, Pfizer's and now Moderna's, have been tested in tens of thousands of people and haven't been shown to have a serious side effect in, that you could say now is relatively uncommon. Now, that doesn't 10,000 people is not 10 million people. And I think when these vaccines roll out, you want to make sure that it doesn't cause a rare serious side effect. So right now, the question I think you have to ask yourself is do we know enough? Because you never know everything. Do you know enough to say that this vaccine's benefits appear to clearly and definitively outweigh what at this point are theoretical risks? And I think the answer to that's yes.
Are you going to get one?
Absolutely. I can't wait to get one. I just emailed the person at our hospital saying, how come I'm not higher in the list? I mean, I'm going to be on service next week. I'm going to be seeing patients that potentially have COVID-19. I would like to get my vaccine, yes.
All right, well, that says it all. All right, so I get this vaccine. It prevents me from getting COVID, hopefully, Pfizer 95%. Does that also mean I'm not a carrier and I can't infect other people who may not have been vaccinated yet? Or is it just I won't get sick from it, but I can still spread it?
That's what it means. It means right now that we know that the vaccine can prevent disease, but we don't know whether or not it can prevent infection, in which case you could still have no symptoms, but still be shedding virus and be contagious. Those studies will be done early next year. I was just on a conference call yesterday with an NIH group. They're preparing to do those studies. It sounds like they're going to do them on college campuses, and I think we're going to have that answer early next year.
Got it. So for the time being, we're going to move into a spot where maybe over the summer where you have the groups that were vaccinated and weren't, and they'll be in different risk categories then.
Exactly right. But I think everybody who's vaccinated should still, wear a mask, social distance, because you still may be contagious to others when you're exposed to the virus. So you're doing that for your neighbor, assuming, you care about your neighbor.
Let's talk about the timeline here. When can my parents get it? Senior citizens, no real underlying conditions aside from being senior citizens. How do they find out it's their turn? Do they get an email or something? How do they know to go?
Right. So they would be in the third tier. So the 1A tier are people who live or work in long-term care facilities or are healthcare workers. The 1B tier, second tier, are people who are other essential workers: transportation, utilities, law enforcement, pharmacies, grocery stores, et cetera. And then the third tier are people over 65 or people who have certain medical conditions like obesity or diabetes, type 1 or type 2 diabetes. So those groups are the third group. That probably comprises about 150 million people. Dr. Fauci thinks we can get to then that next group, the general population, by April. I think that's really optimistic. I would be surprised if we could get there by early summer, but hopefully by the middle of next year anyway.
Dr. Offit, thank you so much, as always, and for all your work on the FDA advisory panel, too. We're going to keep answering your questions here on TV and online. Head to RawsonReports.com. Sign up for my newsletter. We have breaking details on your health and your money whenever something happens, and we break it down, just boil it right down for you, what it means for you. Back to you.
And we're going to take another live look outside at 8:52. We'll be right back with a final look at your Sunday forecast after this. Hey, welcome back, everybody. 8:55. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside this morning. Eric, again, seeing all of these live looks outside makes me want to get out there. What can people expect for the rest of their Sunday?
You're still going to have to bundle out, especially if you head out in the next hour or so. Temperatures only at 36 degrees with a wind chill of 30. Blue skies out over Oklahoma City. 34 degrees in El Reno, 32 in Chandler, as well as Tecumseh, 36 in Purcell. You factor in the winds, most of us in the 20s and 30s for those wind chills, and not going to change much in the next hour or so. A little bit later this afternoon, though, not much in the way of wind chills. 55 degrees, a lot of sunshine, and winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Average 49. We'll be up near 60 for Monday, 65 on Tuesday. Wednesday, a cold front comes through. That's going to give us some big-time winds and some much colder weather as we head toward Thursday. Some small precip chances, rain across southeastern Oklahoma, maybe some flurries up into northwestern Oklahoma. We're watching it closely. Make sure you're checking back between now and Wednesday for that forecast. Cold for Thursday and then warming back up as we head toward Christmas with temps back up into the mid-50s, even close to 60 as we head into next weekend.
Okay, Eric, sounds good. Well, the U.S. Air Force making history, graduating its largest class of female test pilots and engineers. This story pretty cool here. So the small record-breaking group of 5 women graduated on Friday from the rigorous U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School in California. They graduated a class of 24 students. In its 76-year history, 80 women have graduated from that school.
What happened to her clothes and hair? Logan, you have a mullet. No! Are we in the 80s? I think it's Christmas in the 80s. Bruh.
Man, how epic is this? Check this out. The Miranda family in Edmond putting on their annual Christmas light display. And as you can tell this year, they're going big. As you can see this year, the theme is an 80s Christmas show. And they just added a new song to their show so you can drive by and set your radios to 106.1 FM. And the light show will actually coordinate with the music. So the Miranda family putting this on every night from 6 until 8. Pretty cool to see. Might have to go check that one out myself. So Eric, okay, we're talking about your forecast. Chances of a white Christmas not looking too good this year.
No, pretty slim here in Oklahoma City. In fact, a lot of the country not going to be dealing with a white Christmas, but temperature's going to be cold enough. 25 degrees on Christmas Eve morning as well as Christmas morning. Warming up next weekend.
There we go. All right, Eric, appreciate it and appreciate you being here with us on KOCO 5 News. Have a good rest of your Sunday.
Jeep Dodge in Midwest City.